Hey guys, thank you so much for coming through. I thought I was live and yet I was not live. I hadn't gone live. So, you guys, please forgive me. My producer, who is also my hubby, has just come in to tell me that I wasn't exactly live. Okay. So, now I'm live. Thank you. Whew. So, you guys, thank you so much for coming through. I am so thankful for you for being here and um, coming to my live stream. I am just sharing a few facts about me. I am going to just start with an introduction. My I identify as an African child because I don't live in the country that I was born, and at the same time, I wasn't raised in the country that I was born, and I'm not in that country as well. So it's like, but I've been in Africa, you guys. I've been in Africa all my life. I actually have never gone outside of Africa. So yeah, thank you so much for coming through. And if you've got any questions, please go to the live chat. I would like especially to just hear where you are watching me from and where you and if you know want to know anything about me, something that I need, you want me to share about what I do, my family, or whatever you want to know about me, let me know in the chat. And yeah, so I've got a number of questions that I have here on my laptop. I'm using my laptop today. I've got a number of questions that I am going to be answering, and those questions are just going to help me to explore a lot about what I am and what I do so that you can get to know me better. So, okay, and so I'm gonna start. Unless you guys have got any questions, I'm going to start right away so that we don't waste too much time. I am hoping and planning. Okay, that's planning first and then hoping later, because obviously you guys may ask you may ask me questions, but I am planning that this is going to be in under 30 minutes. I'm not going to take I'm not going to take it over 30 minutes because well, I don't want to be here like longer than necessary. So you guys ask me any questions. Brave Fairy, she says Zimbabwe, oh yeah, yes, zim zim zim. Thank you so much for coming through, Brave. And then Xolisile Mbele says watching from the UK. Thank you, sis. Oh, I am so grateful. Thank you so much for coming through, you guys. If you see me checking this side, I'm checking the charts, and then this is the place that I'm working on, which is the laptop that I'm using. So yeah, you guys, and then there is La Sondra White watching from Decatur, Georgia. Hi everybody. Hi La Sondra. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much. So we are going to start with the questions. I've got a list of questions here. I'm going to go through 20 questions about me. So you guys, yeah, unless you want to know something, I'm going to concentrate on the questions that I have here on my laptop. Okay, so what is your full name? My full name is Eveness, which is spelled Evenes. I normally just put Eve because a lot of people don't get it right. So I just go by the name Eve. And then my second name is Ruth. And then Makani is my maiden name. And then Mafupa is my surname right now, like my married name. So I go by Eveness, Ruth, Makani, Mafupa. There you go. And then Memory Mabungane. Hi sis. I'm also watching from Gauteng. Hello. And Orisma Mate, hey, how are you? Thank you so much, you guys, for coming through. I really appreciate you. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So yeah, Before we go too far, I've got, can you see? I don't know if you can see that bouquet of flowers. It was given to me by, let me just, it was given to me by a friend of mine. Actually, she is my sister-in-law. Yes, she's my sister-in-law. She is the sister to my sister's husband. So that qualifies you as a sister-in-law. So she's my sister-in-law. She has this company called Seated Queens. She's also Seated Queen Florals. She's on Instagram. You guys, please go check it out. And she's in Gauteng, so she services the whole of Gauteng. So please check her out. I will put when I add this live to the when I add this live to my feed, to my videos, I'm going to put her details in the description box. And yeah, so those beautiful flowers there. If you want to order yours, please make sure that you order. They are beautiful. They smell fresh and beautiful, and she delivers as well. So you guys, if you want to do flowers for your office, for your home, or for any arrangement, she does weddings as well, and special events. So please check it out. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and yeah. What does your name mean? My name, Ignis, I don't know what it means really. I have no idea what it means. So yeah, I'm gonna just pass on that one. And then, are you named after anyone? I was named after my grandma, she on the paternal side. So my father's mom is who I was named after. Does your name? Okay, I did that. And then, where are you from? Well, that's where I was explaining earlier on that I am African. I was born in Malawi. Malawi is a small country close to Mozambique. Maybe you know Mozambique, because Malawi is just so small in the southern part of Africa. So that's where I was born, and I'm a rural child. I was born in the village in Malawi, and yeah, and then where did you grow up? I grew up in Zimbabwe. So my dad was born in Malawi, and then he went to my dad was born in Zimbabwe, sorry. My dad was born in Zimbabwe, and then he went to Malawi when he was much older. He was working there, married a Malawian wife, had his 4 kids there. I'm the firstborn, and then my younger sister and my 2 brothers. And then after some time, that's when he relocated his whole family back to Zimbabwe. So that's when we were introduced to Zimbabwe. So that's yeah. So I grew up in Zimbabwe. I went to Zimbabwe when I was 7, turning 8, and so that's where I grew up. I did my primary school, my secondary school, my college. I did it all in Zimbabwe, and I got married in Zimbabwe. So that's why I keep saying I'm an African child. And where do you stay right now? I am in South Africa, in Gauteng. I'm in South Africa, in Gauteng. So that's where I stay now. And yeah, and I've been here for the past 13 years. It should be 13 years. I came in 2007 to this 2020. Yes, so it's 13 years. For the past 13 years, I've been in South Africa. I came to South Africa under the quota work permit. I was in the engineering field, and if you were in the engineering field, you would qualify, especially just before the World Cup, you would qualify for a quota work permit because there was a skills shortage in South Africa at that particular time. And then after 5 years, I got a permanent resident, and so I'm a permanent resident of South Africa as of now. And then who did you look up to growing up? I looked up to my parents. We used to stay in a secluded plot outside of the main suburb of the town that I grew up in. So it was so secluded such that there was not much interaction with the people who lived in the suburb, except when you're going to school and then you come back to, it was about a kilometer or so to where we used to stay and where the rest of the suburb was. So I my role models were basically my parents. And then there was, believe you me, then there were no TVs or TV shows, a lot of TV shows in Zimbabwe. So there was, we could maybe watch one or two TV shows. And when I went to boarding school, there was nothing. Like, you wouldn't watch TV for the whole of the term whilst you are at school. So there was not a lot of mainstream media influence. It was basically your relatives or your family whom you spend most of your time with. Those are the ones that I grew up knowing. So yeah. And then which of your parents are you closest to? I was closest to my father, to my dad. He passed away unfortunately many years ago, but yeah, I was closest to him because he was the one that I think I don't know. We were just connected, and besides, I was named after his mom, so we were kind of, he would call me mom several times. So I think that's how we connected. And which of your parents are you more like? I'm exactly like my mom. Appearance, I'm exactly like my mom, but character-wise, my mom is exactly like my young sister. So and I don't know who I am, which parent I'm more like, because my dad passed away like so many years ago when I was still in high school, and I can't remember a lot of the things that my dad used to do as far as character is concerned. But yeah, maybe I don't know. I don't think I took after him actually. I don't think I did take after him. I took after my mom more. Okay, so let's go to the live chat. Nice flowers indeed. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks to seated Queen Florals. Thank you so much. And then we've got Memory. She says, "Wow, I thought you were from Nigeria. So beautiful." Sis. Oh, okay. No, I am from. Hey, I'm African. I was about to say I'm from Zimbabwe. I figured I can't even just say I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm Malawian who is from Zimbabwe and who lives in South Africa. So how did you get into your industry, into the hair industry? Okay, so when I came to South Africa back in 2007, November 2007, that's when I came to South Africa. My hair was natural, but it was breaking so much. And then I was like, okay, I need to find a solution for this. I don't know, maybe it's just because of the different climates. My hair was breaking, and then I relaxed it, and then it broke even worse. And then I went back to natural, and so it was just a lot of yo-yo natural. Like I would go natural, relax, go natural, relax, and mainly because I didn't know what to do with my hair. It was just breaking. And even when I was living in Zimbabwe, my hair was like decent long, like it would come up to here, whether relaxed or natural. But when I came to South Africa, you guys, I struggled big time. So that's when I went to the internet and was just finding ways of how to grow my hair natural. And then I discovered the YouTubers or the bloggers. It was mainly American bloggers that I was reading from. And I started implementing the things that they were doing until, ha, I was also blogging because I think I went onto this platform where you could do have your blog in there, like you could mini blog, and it was kind of documenting my journey as like documenting my natural hair journey. And then from there, I started blogging on my own. Like my husband, who is very tech savvy, he said, you why don't you just start blogging on a blog? Like I can create a blog for you and it's very cheap. It's just like 39 rand maintenance, like for hosting, not maintenance, hosting. And then that's how I actually started blogging. And then I started writing my, obviously documenting my hair journey. And from there, people wanted to know what I was using and also use what I was using. And yeah, I started selling shea butter because in South Africa it was not marketed towards natural hair care. It was mainly for skin. It wasn't on the internet. So I got it. I started marketing it to the black woman or the woman of color, and then also using it on my hair and using it on my skin, and people wanted it. And then I started selling shea butter. Really, that's how I got into the hair industry. And the blogging, it just continued, because for me it was the therapy that I used to get from it. So even sometimes I'll just go quiet, and when, especially when I was studying, I'll just go quiet as far as blogging is concerned. But as soon as I got the chance, I got back to blogging, and then I started this YouTube channel. And yeah, it was also just an extension of my blogging. I think the first YouTube video that I did was celebrating 1 year of blogging, and then from there I started throwing in or posting videos here and there, and sharing the information that I was getting. And yeah, so that's how really the blogging, the hair industry, how I got into the hair industry. And Karen says, Zimbabwe, halala, yes. I'm Zimbabwean, you guys. I'm Zimbabwean, I'm Malawian, and South African, and I go by all that. I'm African. And then Martha Chitekwete says, I'm from Malawi too. Oh, nice. Which area is your mom, does your mom come from? Well, my mom comes from a small town called Dedza. It's in the central region. So yeah, my mom comes from Dedza. It's from the central region, and it's close to Lilongwe. For those who don't know Malawi, it's close to Lilongwe, which is one of the main cities of Malawi. And yes, and that's where I was born as well. I was born in that small village town called Dedza. It's yeah, quite insignificant on the bigger picture. Okay, and Memory says, Gauteng, my neighbor. Yes, I am your neighbor, definitely. Okay, so yeah, and I'm going to go on with the questions. Keep the chats coming, you guys. Keep the chats coming. I'm going to continue answering your questions as and when I see them. And Kwalisile says, wow, what a nice story. Thanks for responding. The pleasure is mine. That's the reason why I'm here, you guys. And thank you so much for asking the question. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here if you guys were not engaging. So thank you so much. Um, so yeah, that's how I got into the hair industry. And then I did a degree, a BTech. It's a Bachelor of Technology in Mechanical Engineering. So I was working when I started doing stuff in the hair industry. I was working as a design draftsperson, and at a power station close by. I won't mention which. I was working there, and then when I had to sell shea butter, like, and people were demanding it like nobody's business. That is back in 2013. People needed shea butter like nobody. So I employed a lady that was working with me, and we used to share my salary. I used to pay her from my salary that I was getting where I was working for the power station. And so we went like that for a number of months until we could actually pick up business, and then she could actually be paid from the business. And yeah, so, and I was also studying, so there's been quite a lot of you guys. Okay, so what is your biggest fear? Okay, I'm back to the questions, you guys. So that's why I'm looking here. What is your biggest fear? My biggest fear is, I don't know. It's I'm I am afraid of heights. I have been trained for to be on a scaffold. I've been trained to be on a scaffold. I've been trained for heights, but still, I just can't get the fear out of me. I'm scared of heights. I don't know how that can be overcome, but yeah. And then also the other biggest fear for me is losing. I'm very good with my hands. I do knit, I do baking, I do obviously doing hair. I also do a lot of sewing, like sewing these clothes. So losing the function of my hands is one of my biggest fears. And as I get older, and like the X and the whatever happening, I'm like, oh my goodness, or whatever happens, I shouldn't lose the use of my hands, of my fingers, because that's where I get my joy of living my purpose from. I love doing things with my hands. And then Martha Chitekwere says, thank you for responding, and thank you too for your YouTube channel. It's very informative. Oh, thank you so much, Martha, and thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate that. And the pleasure is mine. I think I thrive in sharing information and making sure that people they don't have to struggle if I've gone through it, and I can actually just tell them to just pull one or two strings, or to just do one or two things. So I also do mentor a lot of people who are just starting into business, especially the product business, a product based business. I do a lot of mentoring, and um, just so that I can show people what to do and how they can get started and where to look and which companies they can use. So, yeah, I do a lot of that. And it's my joy to be sharing any information with you. Like when I started blogging, you guys, there was no money involved. Like there was no money involved. I didn't even know that you get paid for doing YouTube or for blogging, for instance. So it was, my blog was just, okay, I'm documenting my journey. This is what I have done. This is what I've used. And if you guys find it helpful, please, you can go and try it and all that kind of stuff. So I just get my joy from sharing the knowledge that I have. I don't know why I didn't take teaching as a profession. I don't think I would thrive actually. I don't know. Let's leave that for another day. Balisile says will come when I'm in South Africa for some hair therapy. Yes, please. Please come to where I am. You know how to contact me, Mos. Hey, sis. So, yeah, I would love to see you, Kolisile, and it'll be a pleasure to have you. She says he was trying to follow your steps and failed dismally. Keep trying, my darling. It gets better as the more you practice. I still remember the first time that I did it on my hair. Oh my goodness, I also failed dismally. I just ended up doing amapondo, like the African threading, and then went to sleep. I was like, hey, this thing. And then the more I tried to do it, the more I actually made it. So you can keep trying, and I hope you get it right finally. But yeah, thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate that. And then I'm going back to the questions here. What is your biggest regret? Okay. So you guys, okay, the people who don't know me, where I come from when in my journey as an adult, from when I became a young adult, like most of my adult life actually, I spent it going to a church that I now know is a cult. That is my biggest regret. I'm like, how didn't I see it? And I'm telling you, never judge someone who goes to a cult or was in a cult or has done some silly things or believes some weird beliefs just because they it's sometimes like it comes to you as a slithering snake. Like it doesn't just, like the falsehoods, they when hey, I don't know, I'm still quite emotional about this, but okay, so when I was in that particular church, at first you see these kind people welcoming, and they do that. It's just, I think I also did that, like to welcome new recruits, and they'll be so kind and so loving, and so you're like, oh my goodness, I've arrived. I didn't know these people exist, like real Christians. And by then they're only telling you like proper Christian doctrine. And when you are in there, like you have sold your whole life and your whole heart to it, that's when these doctrines start creeping in, and these weird beliefs start creeping in. So it's not something that I know a lot of people really actually, um, a lot of people ate grass here in South Africa. I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, I wasn't in that particular cult. No, it wasn't that one. But so there are so many people, and I was in a cult. Let me not talk about other people. I was in a cult, and that's one thing I regret so much. I wasted so much of my life believing that I am worthless. I am a woman, a byproduct of a man. I am there's so many things that like degrading things that I believed a woman is supposed to be, or I am, and I'm not supposed to take any position of authority. I'm not supposed to wear makeup. I'm not supposed to, like, so many things. There were so many do's and don'ts which are not even biblical, but yeah, somehow I believed them because I was in a cult. My mind was brainwashed and conditioned that way, and I'm so thankful that I managed to get out of it all, you guys. But yeah, that's one thing I regret, spending 15 years of my life in a cult. Yeah, that's the worst thing ever. Anyway, yeah, so and so memory says, you are a good teacher, a good tutor, because I understand all your steps, although it's not easy, but I'll keep on trying. Yes, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys, one of in my past life in Zimbabwe, when I was still in college, I I used to teach. I used to teach at first I was teaching at a private college, and then later on I taught at a government high school. I was teaching English. Yeah, and then at another time I was teaching mathematics and also teaching geography. I don't know what you guys call it in your country, but yeah, I have taught at some time. And I think that's when I was like, "Ish, this is harder than we thought it was." And went to okay, I was already in engineering then, so yeah, I was like, "Hey, engineering, I can just work with machines and computers and designs and paper and whatever and pens." So yeah, I was quite comfortable then. But and then let Lee for JM says, "Hello, I loved your hair videos. Thank you so much." And then Mariwa Muchene says, "How did you get out?" Okay, so how I got out, it was basically something that was on my feed on Facebook, and I was like, okay, these people are saying this guy is a false prophet. I'm not going to talk about this guy at all. I'm just going to call him a guy. This guy is a false prophet. And then, so it came on my feed, and I was like, these people are just becoming a nuisance. Okay, all right. If I'm going to believe that this guy is a true prophet, I want to make sure that I believe it according to the word of God, and I believe it according to what he said. So, fortunately enough, there is a lot of literature of the sermons that he preached, of the prophecies that he put out, and of, like, yeah, the books written about him anyway. So I went, the first thing that I actually did was he used to say, I preach what Paul preached. So, and then there's this other book that he preached, or a book about what he preached, and it was mostly about his doctrine, what he believes in. So I took the letters of Saint Paul and read them through and through several times, and then also took his book where where he laid out his doctrine, or what like the essence of his doctrine, where he gets it from and everything, and then I compared the two. Well, it wasn't exactly like word for word. It's not gonna be word for word. I don't even expect that. So yeah, that's what I started off with actually. And then the second thing that I wanted to I told you I was teaching English, so I'm a literature person. I do recall very well. like books, characters, what you said there and there and there. Because even in Zimbabwe, when I did my A levels, I don't know how I ended up in engineering, you guys. That's a video for another day. But I in high school, in when I did my A levels, advanced level. In Zimbabwe, you do advanced level. When I did advanced level, I did English literature and I did divinity, which is also Bible study at an advanced level. So I joined, like, I tried to make sense of what this guy was preaching and some things that went over my head over these years because I wasn't studying what he was saying, and also taking back, going back to where he said this prophecy and that prophecy and joins the things together. So there were simple things like when he said he had spoken in tongues, and yet when he had said in an earlier video that he had learned that language in Finland, and those are the two words that he actually learned. So I was like, oh my goodness, okay, so this guy is saying 2 years later he's now speaking in tongues, and yet uh, 2 years earlier he was saying he learned those words in Finland. Come on. So I started digging even further and further and further. I was like, oh my goodness, this is a matter of life and death. This is salvation to me. So I want to believe something that I am so sure of, and I can literally dive head first if I'm convicted of what I believe in, because I don't believe in piecemeal. I believe in all of it. So if I can't I can't be deep into all of it, and I can't believe completely what I know I want to believe, then I'm not going to be part of it. So that's basically what happened, because this so-called church had a lot of do's and don'ts, which I didn't mind. Like, it was something that I had lived with for 15 years, and like, I had all my kids there, literally, like my firstborn to lastborn. I've got three boys. I had all my kids there. So it wasn't something that I was like struggling with. I wasn't struggling with the long clothes, with the no makeup. Your arms need to be covered, and you can't have synthetic hair. Well, some churches do allow synthetic hair, but some churches don't allow synthetic hair on your head. So it was something that I wasn't struggling with, but the actual truths, the fundamentals of this particular doctrine and what they believed in and what they taught and what this guy, the so-called prophet, said he is the like the ultimate word, because God apparently spoke through him, and things which were completely lies. So yeah, we're not going to go into that. I've got a video on my channel. You guys, if you want to know more about it, you can go on my channel. It's quite very touchy. It's very touchy um, experience, because yeah, I've let me end it there. And yeah, so that's what happened. And then Lee4JM says, I feel so special now. You said my name and spoke to me. Thanks. No, it's only a pleasure, darling. Yeah, it's a pleasure. That's why I'm here, and I'm here to answer your questions so that you can get to know me better. Okay, so we are left with about 11 minutes to be over with this thing. So if you've got any questions that you want to ask me, please go ahead in the chat so that I can answer them. And in the meantime, I'm going to go to the list that I have here. And then there's Lua Nunes. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She says, Kiss do Brazil. Mwah, mwah. Thank you. Mwariwa Muchene says, thanks for sharing. The pleasure is mine, darling. That's why I'm here. I just thought it's high time we got to know each other. Okay. So, who is your favorite person in the world? Definitely my husband. He's my best friend. So, yeah, he's my favorite person in this whole world. And then, what is your favorite cultural activity? Oh my goodness. Now it's a mix of cultures. Remember, I was born in Malawi, so I do some of the Malawian cultural activities, and then I grew up in Zimbabwe, and then now I'm in South Africa. But let me tell you, what I love most about South Africa is the richness of culture. Oh my goodness. I didn't know all the things that I know about our culture as Africans, as the Nguni people. Uh, I didn't know a lot of it, and it's only when my dad used to have like gatherings, and they would dance like with the shields and with the cow skin and all that kind of stuff. But it didn't make a lot of sense in my head until I came to South Africa, and there's culture and there's pride in our culture from every angle, and that is there's Heritage Day that we celebrate in September. I love that time so much, where we can like wear our African prints and like all that kind of stuff. I love that about our culture, like the dressing. I love it. What is your favorite drink? Wow, I don't know. Hey, I've, I've never thought about a favorite drink. What's my favorite drink? Ooh, I'm tempted to say Oros. Have you ever? Okay, let me introduce Oros to you guys, the orange flavor. Have you ever had Oros on ice? Wow. On a hot day in Gauteng or anywhere in the world. And then you just pour your Oros, and then you pour your Oros on top of ice, and then you dilute it to your liking. I know. I love Oros. I like Oros. I still remember this other time when we went to Zimbabwe. I grew up on Mazoe, but when we went to Zimbabwe, and then my kids were already there, they were seeing the grandparents. My mom is in Zimbabwe, and my husband's mom is also in Zimbabwe. That's why I'm like, I'm Zimbabwean. When I go home, I go to Zimbabwe, and only occasionally do I go to Malawi. So we went to Zimbabwe. When I say Zim, I mean Zimbabwe, you guys. So we went to Zim, and we took Oros with us. We're like, oh my goodness, we're gonna miss this. So let's put some in the car so that we don't. So that's my favorite drink, you guys. And then, what is your favorite holiday destination? Durban, Durban, Dubs. Anytime. I love going to Durban. I love the green vegetation, the people, the I don't know, the culture. I don't know. I just love Durban. I love being in Durban anytime. And what is your favorite physical activity? Okay, so my favorite physical activity is actually running. I don't get to do it more often, but when I run, and oh my goodness, I just feel at peace. I go for walks most of the time, but when I run, that's my favorite by far. And then also playing tennis. I play tennis from time to time, and yeah, so I think that's basically the physical activities that I do. It's run and walk and play tennis. And then Husna Chikaha, I love the fact that you said you are an African child. I identify as one too. Where I was born wasn't where I grew up, and only came back home when I started working. Home is Tanzania. Hey, okay, yeah. Yeah, African child. I'm an African. And I think before we had this colonization that happened to our beautiful continent called Africa, we didn't have a lot of borders. So as much as as I said, I was born in Malawi, but my people, like the Masina is like our clan name. Like I'm Masina, and that name, I'm telling you, you guys, it's in most of them are here in South Africa, and they are also in Swaziland. And according to my dad, my most of our people are in Swaziland. So they are the Swatis. They're now the Swatis. And I am Swati, and yet I was born in Malawi. So even when people ask me, "Oh, where are you from and who are you?" I tell them I am Swati, who was born in Malawi, grew up in Zimbabwe, and now I'm in South Africa. You guys, I'm just African. We can settle at that. I am losing power. Okay, so let's get this finished, you guys. And then, what is your favorite candle scent? I love lavender because it calms me down anytime. And what was your favorite subject in high school? My favorite subject in high school was fashion and fabrics because it taught me how to work with my hands to make clothes. I made this some years back, but yeah, it taught me that. So I loved fashion and fabrics, and our teacher was just amazing. She also liked me so much. So I liked fashion and fabrics. Are you a dog person or a cat person? I'm neither, but we've got dogs. We tried having a pet, we tried having a cat, but he wasn't too loyal. I don't know what cats do. He used to spend most of his time out of the house. So, yeah, but now we have got two dogs. I'm going to introduce them to you at a later stage when my husband is not too shy to come on camera because I can't introduce the whole family without introducing him, right? So, yeah, I'm going to introduce them to you at some point, but we've got two dogs. The other one is they're pit German pits. They call them German pits, so it's a mix between a pit bull and a German shepherd, and they're still puppies, and we love them so much. So I don't know, maybe yeah, I'm more a dog person. Let me say that. Are you a fan of any sports team? No, my husband is. I am not. My sons are. I'm not. I don't know. I don't watch sport that much. I prefer playing it. I don't. Are you a good cook? I would say I'm a fair cook. I do love cooking. I do baking, but I normally look at. I've got my favorite dishes that I don't have to look at a recipe, but I love experimenting as well. Like a lot of experimenting. So, excuse me. I love cooking. I wouldn't say I'm a very good cook, but yeah, it's edible. Are you an early adopter or a late adopter? I'm an early adopter. Like I go according to instinct. Okay, you guys, let me. It's saying low battery. Let me just get some more battery, some more power. Mm-hmm. I hope it's gonna. Mm-hmm. We do this, and then we pick here. There we go. Oh my goodness. I don't know if no, we're going. We're still going, ne?
Yeah, you're big.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my computer switched off. I don't know. It didn't give me much warning. It just said battery low, and then oh my goodness, and then there it was. My home is England, but my dad is from Africa. Hey, Juliet. Okay, yeah. So you're also African, darling. Okay. So so we are back now. I had. Okay, all right. So we are back on, back on, back on, back on, back on. Back on. Am I a good dancer? No way. No, I'm not a good dancer. I love dancing though. we can move this a little bit so that my computer still stays powered. Yeah. So now, sorry for the sorry for that. I am sorry, so sorry. Hi Eve, watching from Namibia, but I'm also from Zim. Love your tutorials. Thank you. Yay. Thank you so much for commenting, Ivy and Nyamana, I think. Yeah, it's it's a pleasure to be doing it for people who actually appreciate what I do. Like, if one person gets something or is getting value from what I'm doing and what I'm sharing with you guys, it's something that I die for. So thank you so much. What? Uh, who is the best teacher you've ever had? Her name is. It was in primary school, and her name is. I don't know if you guys are gonna, but her name was. Oh, she's late now as well. Her name was Mrs. Bwerazuva. Okay, so it was in primary school. This lady, she was amazing, like in so many ways. I still remember there's a time that the vice principal said we are not allowed to do needlework. Then it was needlework at school, in primary school. So I was doing needlework with my friend, and they just banned the whole thing. They were like, this kind of skill is beneath us. We are supposed to be teaching better things than teaching kids to do needlework or woodwork. It's for poorer schools, whatnot. I used to go to school in like a former whites only school. So yeah, and this lady, what she did was said, you girls, we are going to finish your projects. So she used to smuggle us into her um, storeroom, and then we used to sew by hand. There was no machine. There were obviously the school was not going to sponsor buying us machines if they didn't think that it was a useful school. It was a useful skill. So what she did is smuggle us into her storeroom, and then I still remember with my friend Femida. I couldn't South African. She's colored. So we used to go into Mrs. Bwerazula's storeroom, and then we would sew, and we finished our projects. And up to now, I am so grateful to that woman because she believed in us, and it was a choice that we could actually make in grade 5, like in the 5th grade, to say we want to do it, and why shouldn't we do it just because it's beneath anyone? So we did. She was the most amazing teacher that I've ever known, and very understanding as well. She was a mom, and yeah, so I loved Mrs. Brazil so much. Hi, Eve. Okay, so there's nothing new. It was Ivim Nyamana who says, Hi, Eve, watching from Namibia. Okay, so we are wrapping up this. I don't know if there's anything that you guys want to see. Do you, is there anything that you guys want me to answer? But I am wrapping this up. He says, do you sing in the shower? Nope, I don't sing in the shower. Do you sleep with lights on or off? Either. I can sleep with lights on or off, but I prefer off actually. And then, do you prefer kissing or cuddling? I prefer cuddling, but I love both. So, do you have a garden? Yes, I've got a small garden, and in like yeah, I've got a small garden with some spinach and some pumpkins, and they're coming out nice. I've got some strawberries as well in my garden. Maybe one day I may take you to my garden. So I do have a small garden. I've got some tomatoes, some spring onions. So yeah, I do have a garden. It does pass for a garden. And then, do you have any birthmarks? I do, but now it's fading. I don't know. I got kind of a dot here. I still remember when I got married, and then I had relaxed here. Then with my complexion, a lot of people used to think that I'm Indian. I'm like, no, And they would say she even has a dot here. Like the dot, my dot is right in between the bridge of my nose. And Indians normally put, or I don't know if it's all Indians, but then those who do put a dot, they normally put it quite further up here. But I've got a birthmark right on the bridge of my nose. It's becoming smaller now. Oh, okay. So Lua Nun says in love, Africa. Yay. LT, love back, love, love, love. Your laughter is so contagious. That's Yanda. I can't help myself. Okay. And I laugh quite a lot. I still remember my sister-in-law. She was like, she was here 2018, 2019 December. So she was like, oh my goodness, I could just come over to your house so that I can just have some laughter therapy because um, people say I laugh too much. Even my kids think I laugh too much, like too often. Well, I don't mind. I think it keeps the doctor away. They say laughter is the best medicine, right? So I don't mind. Okay. I'll just go through five more questions and then we are done. But you guys, thank you so much for coming through. And yeah, there's what is your star sign? My star sign is Gemini. And what is at the top of your bucket list? I think the what's at the top, I don't know, hey, because I act on almost everything that I think of, and I think maybe I'm not thinking wild enough. I should think wild enough, right? So I don't know. I think what's at the most top of my bucket list is to see my kids wed, of which I really can't control that. I don't want to control that at all. I'm not going to be looking for wives for my sons. So I would say, I don't really have demands. Hey, I live life each and every day, and if I can do something, I'm gonna go for it. And if I can't do it, well, I find ways. If I want it strong enough, I find ways on getting it. So I don't really have like a list of the things that I want to do before I die. I live every day as if it's my last, like literally. So yeah, what scares you about aging? Losing the function of my fingers, of my hands, because I do a lot of stuff with my hands. I do hair, I do sewing, I do a little bit of art. I've got some art that I've done. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, it's further up there. I've got some canvas painting that I did. So I do a lot with my hands, and so losing my aging, the most thing that scares me is losing the function of my hands. That scares me too, like almost to death. Okay, and how many countries have you been to? I've been to mostly countries in Southern Africa. That's why I still say I'm African. I've been to Botswana, Namibia, Kenya, Zambia, obviously Malawi, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and Lesotho. So I've been to 9 countries in Southern Africa. Well, Kenya is kind of in Central Africa, but yeah, I've been to 9 countries. Would you ever consider living abroad? Yeah, it depends on what the push factors and the pull factors. But I'm open to living abroad. And then, how many days could you last in solitary confinement? I think I would last maybe a week or even 2 weeks. I'm one person who can be alone and not be lonely. Yeah, something that uh, kind of pisses my husband off because he's more outgoing and I am more a home girl, like a homebody. So I would last. Lockdown wasn't harsh on me, to be realistic. It wasn't harsh on me because I love being at home. I've got so many things to be doing. Like I love baking, I love cooking, I love sewing, I love gardening. So there's so much for me to be doing at home. But I know solitary confinement, you're literally in a room on your own. I'll probably last a week or two in that. And then, have you ever won a trophy or an award? What was it? In 2016, my products, Nashe Organics, won the best natural hair products in the African Hair Awards. So yeah, and that's what I won. It was for my company, but I'm the one who created the products. I formulate the products and decided what's in them. So that's the only thing that I've ever won ever as an award or a trophy. And yeah, I suppose even primary school, the last time I actually won something for academics was in primary school, and I was the best, um, most improved. Most improved. So the thing is, I when we went to Zimbabwe from Malawi, I didn't know English. I didn't know Shona. I didn't know any language that they spoke in Zimbabwe. So I went there and I was in grade 3. I started grade 3 in Zimbabwe. And because I didn't know the languages that they were speaking there, it was kind of hectic. They didn't they couldn't teach me and I couldn't hear what they were saying. I still remember in my first year in Zimbabwe, the principal of the school that I was going to, that was in Harare then, he literally came to me to tell me how to spell my name. My teacher could not because I couldn't hear her, and the English that I had learned from a government school in Malawi was so basic. It was how are you? I am fine, and you just that, and then that's all I could. That's all I could say, and that's all I could do. So it took some time until I could improve on my academics, and it was only in grade 7, like the 7th grade, that I moved from being position 30, 40 something to position 13, and I actually got an award for that. Yeah, so that's the award that I actually got. And then when I went on to high school, from 2, which is like the 9th grade, I was actually the third in the school, and I passed with flying colors. But yeah, so that's something for another day, and I'm diverting now. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't want this to take longer than necessary. If I haven't answered anything, you guys, you can put it in the comments. I could actually do a second get to know me tag, who knows. But if you want me to continue also, if you also want me to continue doing these live streams, please put it in the comments, of this video. Please put it in the comments. And what do you want me to cover? Do you want it to be more masterclass, or do you want to be more sharing? And tell me what you want us to cover, and then I will definitely do that. I would definitely do that. You know, sometimes I rush too much in my words, like I chew my words, and I can't even hear myself. That's when I normally go back and redo it or re-say the words that I had chewed up before. But yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for coming through. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and also hit the notification button so that when I go live, you guys can actually be notified that I am live. And don't forget to comment and tell me what you want me to be covering besides the hair videos that I'll obviously continue putting each and every day. Do you want to see some of my cooking? I do mostly Malawian, Zimbabwean, and South African cooking. I'm African. And sometimes I do jollof rice. Yes, I do jollof rice. Which I don't know if it's Ghanaian or it's Congolese. But they've got, all of them have got different jollof rice. And I also do, what? This chicken, this spicy chicken, peanut butters also. There's always put peanut butter in it, and my Ghanaian friend taught me that one. So I also do that. I bake a lot, like oh my goodness, every weekend. That's why I can't get this weight off, because I do bunting during the week, and then during the weekend I can't just bake without testing what I've baked. So that's, yeah, I bake a lot. And if you want to do gardening with me, let me know. I am free to that as well. So just let me know in the comment section below, and then I will do that for you. Otherwise, as for this live stream, we are done. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate you. God bless you. And may you have a blessed week ahead. God bless you once again. Big time. Bye.